here with all that
Ain't nobody
preaching.
trying to preach you, bro. I just
I'm
want to
not
talk to
trying to
you.
hear that, bro. I'm not
I feel
trying to hear.
you. I feel
I'm
you.
not. Cause every time you come over here, you over here with that God stuff, and I ain't trying to hear
I
that.
understand it. I just want to say I love you, bro.
I mean, I love you too, bro, but still,
I just don't want to go to no more funerals and shit, bro. I swear, bro.
That's them, that's not me, bro. I promise you, I'm good out here. I'm straight, bro.
You the young and rested spirit moving to the records. No commercial break till them faces build your castles. Reach the architect, think it's babbling his message. Yeah, you tired of preaching, leave it to your own discretion. Cause you still God's, but don't.
What up, little bro?
What up, man? Don't be coming over here with all that
Ain't nobody
preaching.
trying to preach you, bro. I just want
I'm
to talk
not
to
trying
you.
to hear that, bro. I'm not
I
trying
feel
to hear.
you. I feel
I'm
you.
not. Cause every time you come over here, you over here with that God stuff, and I ain't trying to hear
I
that.
understand it. I just want to say I love you, bro.
I mean, I love you too, bro, but still, bro.
I just don't want to go to no more funerals and shit, bro. I swear, bro.
That's them, that's not me, bro. I promise you, I'm good out here. I'm straight, bro.
You the young and rested spirit moving to the records. No commercial break till them faces build your castles. Reach the architect, think it's babbling his message. Yeah, you tired of preaching, leave it to your own discretion. Cause you still God's, but don't.
What up, little bro?
What up, man?
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? I know this is a little different from what everybody on YouTube is used to, and it's a little bit different because I normally don't even do live streams on Facebook unless I have a guest. So I normally do it like on special events, which I haven't had a guest since we did the Cornelius Maxwell interview. But I definitely am going to be working on that this year, coming in 2021. Um, I came in because I felt something on my heart to kind of get in my friends and family, because I've been it's been a pretty long year, and I know it's been rough for. Sorry, I'm seeing stuff on my shoulder and I'm trying to get it off. But I know it's been a rough year for everybody, and I kind of wanted to give people a sense of hope if that is what my testimony can be able to reveal to them. Just a spark of hope and just the ability to capture some semblance of happiness as we end the year. I know a lot of again. I know a lot of people are hurting out there. Um, I know my people on Facebook probably don't know, but I have been keeping up with what the day to days about what's going on in the sphere as far as and the only reason I'm stuttering right now is because I'm trying to fix this live stream on Instagram. So, but yeah, so I know a lot of people are hurting, and I've been keeping up with what's going on, like in Congress and all of that stuff, and you know, I know a lot of people they need some semblance of hope for what's going on. So I definitely want to just share my story. I don't know if this hits home for you, then I hope it does. But again, this is just my story. So basically, at the beginning of last year, um, I was definitely on the ropes around, and I want to say even a little bit before 2000, before the beginning of the year, I was kind of on the ropes about um, just whether I wanted to quit as running my company. I literally just wanted to quit. It was a lot of stuff going on as far as um, my personal relationships. I started to feel like my Business had become more of a job, vice versa, of a pleasure of mine. I was just really, really weighed down by the in and outs of dealing with people um, in totality. So I was feeling very stagnant at the beginning of the year. And I did contemplate many times of just giving it all up and just doing absolutely nothing. So I really was dealing with depression and the pressure of having to continuously meet the expectation of people who really didn't value my gift the way that I know it should have been valued. So a lot along the lines of that time, I started making some changes as far as how I moved. Um, I started raising the prices on some of my stuff. Um, I started taking my time with people's projects because originally, I don't care what anybody says here where I am or a lot of other places. Majority of my clients know if they get a project from me, then they're going to get it back fast. Like what I mean fast, I'm talking about graphic designs within 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. And in a lot of spaces that's kind of unheard of because a lot of graphic designers they don't work like that. They just, you know, they're not able to produce. Either they're not able to produce or they just don't produce that way. But for my business, that became a thing. And it's a gift and a curse that I'm able to have a varying range of imagination. Um, well, a large imagination so that I can be able to be highly creative and also with me being, and this is not me just saying it, me being on a sort of genius level capacity to be able to understand technology to where I can manipulate it at a very fast pace. So what I mean by that is where it took some people 4 years in college to be able to learn Photoshop, I learned it in like 60 days. Within 90 days, um, I was producing better than a lot of people who were coming out of like VCU's um, graphic design program. So having the weight of 10 years, again, having the weight of 10 years of being able to produce at this high level, not to mention I'm a jack of many trades. I don't just do graphic design. I also do videography. I also do um, I do videography, graphic design, web design. Um, I do music. I have a very large range of creativity in a space of creativity. So I became a content creator. But being a content creator and being in marketing, it became a very strenuous time with dealing with people and their expectations because of the type of product that I was creating for them. So again, I had to change a lot about what was going on in my company. And then something happened. God put something on my heart to do. And what that was to create a job market for the community that I'm in. Now, at that time, I was battling between my Christianity and the work that I was doing for other people. So I say it like this, like a lot of times when people were seeing the content that I was producing, I'd be doing like club flyers. I'd be doing like I go to the club and they be doing I'm supposed to be a Christian, but I'm going to twerk parties to produce video projects for these promoters. producing flyers that has mass nudity, producing content that is not becoming of someone who says they are Christian. So I was battling with that along with battling the depression of whether I even still wanted to do my job. And then my grandfather died. Now, a lot of people don't know when my grandfather died, it kind of hit me a little bit hard. One, because I wasn't as great as a grandson to my grandfather as I wanted to be. And it kind of crushed me. So during that time, I had projects. I have a project right now. I had two projects that actually took me almost the entire year to even complete. One was a wedding video that I actually did on January 1st of last year, and then the other one is a set of photos for a musician. I still haven't finished that because it's been a very, very daunting year. So moving forward from the passing of my grandfather and dealing with the fact that as a father of two children of my own, not including my wife's children and then the child that we have together, but my two children, and dealing with the rigmarole, the stress of having to go back and forth to court for either custody or going back and forth for child support, all of that type of stuff. So I'm trying to run my business. I'm fighting for child support, dealing with my grandfather's death, dealing with whether I want to continue to run my business, all of that stuff. And then battling with my faith. And that faith is in I don't know whether God exists or I believe in what the Bible is saying. It's just dealing with having to continuously go through the rigmarole, just the hamster wheel of it all. Until one day I don't even remember what happened. But it was around the start of right before the coronavirus. God gave me a vision gave me this vision, and it was kind of like I had to stop thinking about everything that was holding me back. And what was holding me back was fear. What was holding me back was the inability to let go. And I know a lot of people, they have the inability to let go of certain things and to move forward. And that's just exactly what the enemy tries to get us to do. The enemy always wants to hold you to certain standards that are not even in the metric for you to actually be able to obtain. I.e., like, okay, I have not seen my daughter in almost an entire year. And though I know the situation is very, very volatile, and we're still working that whole situation out. But it held me back in a place. It held me back in a place where during that time, I was beating myself. I was literally beating myself every single day because I could not control the situation that I was in. in the moment that I let go of having to control the situation is the point in time to which, again, I got the vision to move forward. A lot of people in that point in time didn't understand what I was going through, but a lot of people who understood what was going on, and I didn't really have to give them as many details, or I didn't have to, they just understood that there was something going on and that I was trying to push forward and break free from whatever shackles that actually existed on me as an individual. So I just tried throughout the year. I've been trying to break these shackles on my mind that just keep me pressed and bogged down, because when you let go of what is out of your control, this is why I like the serenity prayer, is because it's about letting go. And when I was going through my PTSD back in 2000, I actually was in the mental facility for quite some time while I was in the military. And then when I got out of the military, I was still going through my depression, my PTSD. Because around that time, when I went into the military, like literally, my grandmother passed away in June, and I went to the military in September, and I was in Iraq by the next, like within like that next November, I was in Iraq. So, or was it the year? It was the year after that I was literally in Iraq. The November after I got back, I was in Iraq. Because my training was about a year. So while I was in the military, I lost a lot of friends here who were killed right before I went to Iraq. Then I had to deal with I never got the opportunity to process all of the death that was going on while I was away. And then having to deal with building relationships in the military and having to deal with those deaths. And dealing with the fact that I might die while I was in a war zone. So for a very long time, I never got to deal with all of that stuff. I get out of the military. Now I'm here. I'm newly married. I've only been married for about 4 years. And then I'm dealing with having to adjust to a blended family in a marriage. And then on top of that, I'm moving forward into the third year of my marriage. And it's not Instagram. It's not all beautiful. We went through a lot. Still are. Dealing with the situations with the mothers of my children. I've been through a lot. So again, all of that stuff built up, and I'm getting back to where I am now, or where I left off before I went to the diatribe about my military experience. But during that time of me actually dealing with everything going on, especially during this year, I kind of got into, like I said, embarked on my heart that there is a need and a necessity for stability in the community that I am in. So one of the things he gave me was the vision of a facility that would be able to house all of the talents that I've been cultivating over a 10-year process. Now, I've asked, I don't know, I really don't know. I was like, I don't know how I'm even get the money for this. Everywhere I look, they want 10,000, they want 5,000, they want 20,000 a month for a building. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this. So God told me, he said, Why are you asking for something that you already have? Just use what I already gave you. And a lot of people think that God just speaks to you like in his voice, or I don't know how he speaks to you, but I know how he speaks to me, and it's not really a physical thing. It's more along as you're following your path, he continuously gives you God will continuously give you these kind of hints if you're really listening and paying attention to, like, as if it's almost like I'm a child and I'm trying to be able to understand what's going on in my life. So I'm learning from the life lessons, and God teaches me through many life lessons. So in all of those life lessons, he was like, use what you already have. So what I ended up doing was I just stayed still for a good little minute. And then as I started to move out of my depressive state, I started to realize how true it was. I had no necessary for the entire, literally when I restarted my studio, I sold everything. The only thing that I had left in my studio from when I restarted it was an interface in my computer. I didn't have no speakers. I didn't have studio monitors. I didn't have this switcher here. I had nothing except for that interface. I still had my GH4, but I didn't have anything other than the GH4 in the rig. That was it. My Blackmagic cinema camera, my first one, died. So I didn't have that. But then when I started to realize that I had things available to me, that's when the opportunities actually brought themselves forward. So again, God gave me this vision to move forward, telling me to move forward, telling me to let go of the past, telling me to chase this. This is the vision that I have for you. This is your purpose. Follow this purpose. Do this. Don't think about what happened in the past. That's done. You can't change that. But what you can change is the trajectory of your future. That was powerful to me. So again, I got out of I had to force myself out of this depressive state. Force myself out of it. And I had to literally just move forward. And what I did was I took every single day and I just took it day by day. And eventually people started calling. Hey, bro, I need this. Hey, bro, I need this. Hey, bro, I need this. And the money just started coming in. And I was just like, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where all these jobs are coming from. I just got to work. I just got to work. So I just started getting busier and busier and busier. And then it started getting so busy that I wasn't even able to keep up with it all. And then, again, it hit me. It was like, God is right. I got everything I need. There's nothing that I could ever want. I have everything that I need. All of this stuff behind me was stuff that was not here last year. I promise you. And I got way more stuff than this. If anybody know me, they know how much stuff that I actually have. And some of this stuff I accumulated over the years. But when I really got down to the basics, and I actually just started using what I already had. I had a camera. That's when everything started moving. That's when, thankfully God put me in a place where I have a church family that is highly supportive of pushing what I do forward. They help me to push my agenda forward. Even though I might not match the appeal of the church, they understand that this is a season where I have to work in order to get to a place where I can be able to say, hey, I got this. Now, during this time, my marriage started. There started being some ruffles in the marriage. But it came to a point where I got more of a resolve. I got way more of a resolve as it pertained what God wanted me to do than I had a resolve for everything else. The mission of the vision that he gave me became more than everything else. It was all about this mission. It's kind of like when Moses was given, and I spoke about this before. It was like when Moses was told by God to build the ark. It's going to rain. You need to build this ark. He told him it's going to rain. Build this ark. The same way that he told Moses how to build the ark and showed him the vision for the ark is the same vision that I got for what it is that I'm going to be building now. And the thing about it is, again, I started to be able to generate business by following my purpose, my God-given purpose. That's bigger than me. Because a lot of people, they think their purpose is going to validate themselves when actually your purpose is for the whole of the kingdom and not just yourself. It's not a selfish thing. It's not about being popular. It's not about being famous. It's not even about being rich. It's literally building a foundation for something that's greater than yourself. Something that can provide provision for generations. That's what was imparted on me. So I started doing studying on certain things. How to run this, how to run that, how to do what it is that he's asking me to do. Because I have to show myself approved, and the only way I can show myself approved is to study. So again, I got a resolve. And then with that resolve, I started to study and really engulf myself into what it is that I'm going to be prepared to do. And I learned this a lot later from Pastor Fred Wyatt during one of his sermons, was to prepare yourself for what it is, for the vision that's already given to you. So you have to prepare yourself, because if the vision will never stop being the vision for as long as you live. But if you don't prepare yourself and act upon that vision, you'll die as well as the vision will die. And each person is given a vision. Each person is given a measure of faith. And that in that measure of faith, you're given a vision of what your faith is even supposed to look like, right? So everybody I look back on, the way that I was able to really look at this is I look back on everything that I had been through. My entire life prepared me for the next step in my life, to where now I'm going to have a facility, whereas back 10 years ago, literally, I met J30 in 2009, crossing into 2010, and I was an engineer in his building. Now I'm going to be housing almost the same type of facility, and I say same type of facility, but now I'm going to be one of the owners of that facility. Again, God told me that I already had everything that I needed. When I got my resolve and I got my vision, I got my purpose. That's backwards. When I got my vision, I got my resolve and I got my purpose. So, sorry for that. Now, again, like I've nothing about life has changed. I still deal with the same troubles, the same issues, the same problems every single day. It hasn't changed. The thing that changed though was I am laser focused on a vision that's different from what I was focused on before. Because again, the enemy wants you focused on what happened in the past. He wants you focused on what happened in the past. He wanted to keep those memories of what happened in the past. Everything I was wrong about, all of my faults, everything. He wanted to keep that on my mind daily, so that I wouldn't be able to focus on my purpose and my path. The more I got into my word, the more understanding I got for what was going on, as well as how to maneuver with everything that was going on. I.e., like, I now have the understanding that when the Bible speaks of spirits, it's not talking about anything spooky. It's talking about the spirit as far as like not being emotional, or you'll be controlled by the spirit of anger or the spirit of fear, or having the spirit of lust, or having the spirit of greed, or having the spirit. It's literally a mentality. Your mentality and your free will is what keeps you separate from what God wants for you. Your mentality and your free will is what keeps you from what God wants for you. So if your mentality is all about sex and all about money and all about lust, therefore your spirit will be controlled by that, and your free will will be also controlled by that. But if you have a spirit that is not lust, and I shouldn't say lust, but if you have a spirit that is after God, then that spirit will also translate that into your free will direct you towards God. Because God can't make you do anything you don't want to. Because that's why he gave us free will. That's why we're separate from almost every single other being that's created under the heavens, with his word. So again, I had to get this resolved, and then I got my purpose. And then I had to realize that I had everything that I needed. I just needed to get out of my own way. I had to forget about what happened in the past. I had to forget about the things that upset me yesterday. I had to only think about what's going on right now in the present, because only in the present can I control myself. I can't control myself of all of the women that I slept with in the past. I can't control all of the times that I've gotten angry with someone yesterday. I can't control any of that. But what I can control is what I'm doing in the moment. And part of that was me also gaining personal responsibility for the things that I have done. Right? So now I'm maturing. I'm still working, but I'm maturing as far as my mentality. I don't like arguments. I would rather someone win. I will allow someone who is argumentative win an argument, vice versa, of continuously being in the argument. Or if I'm having a debate with someone, I would rather not um, be caught up so much in my emotion that I start spewing out things that are toxic towards them. Because a lot of people, when they are in these, and I'm going to get back to the point, I'm going to get back to the story. But a lot of people, they like to have these arguments with people, and then they like to be right. And they like to be right so much that they're even willing to tear down the person in order to make themselves right. You get me? So, and I've done that. I've done that many times, many times. And I still work on that. But one of the things that, again, I had to move forward from is to realize that the only thing I can focus on right now is this vision. But also I have to think of the vision in totality. So one of my fears in life is rejection. I've had to deal with rejection almost in my entire life, because rejection for many men, especially in this generation, is solely from the fact that the lack of having men in their lives, specifically their fathers. And this is something that both men and women deal with, the point of rejection from parents. And I can't say just men and women, because there are mothers who abandon their children to the fathers. But that rejection from a parent started to come up, and I had to literally remember, like, I may have been rejected from this parent, but I've never been rejected from God. God never rejected me. God saved me so many times that I could have passed away, that I could have been in situations that were way more dangerous than they were. Again, I've done a lot of stuff in my lifetime. Things that a lot of people wouldn't even believe I did, because they know me as they see me, right? They see this John. But they never got to meet Pat. They never got to meet Birdie. They never got to meet John P. A lot of people who know me now, they never got to know those people. You see what I'm saying? They never got to meet Private Patron. They never got to meet who I was before. So they can't identify with some of the stories I could just pull out of a hat and tell them from my position, because they would never believe it, because they see me as this. This is how they see me now. You get to see me with no locks. You get to see me without the uniform. So again, getting back into the story, once I got my resolve and I really sat down with myself. And still going through everything I was going through and moving forward, I started realizing how many things started falling into my lap. When I started thinking about things being a bigger picture situation, vice versa of just a me situation. You know what I mean? I started with no income. Now I have a very substantial income. And along the way, I have ticked a lot of people off from the changes that I had to make. That's not a me problem. And it's never been a me problem. So I've made those changes in my life, right? And I moved forward to being able to make certain types of situations happen in my favor, right? So I have done things like I shot my latest film. Well, my latest film. I'm going to say it just like that. I shot my latest film That was just a couple of months ago. Um, the quality of what I've been doing has substantial gone up, and as well as the people that are involved in what it is that I'm trying to do. They all want to support what it is that I want to do as in total. And they are also willing to work with me on a level that I did not get before. Because before, like I said, I was literally, man, I would have people calling my phone 12 o'clock midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, inboxing me, hey, have you finished my project? This, that, and the third, and I stopped answering. I stopped answering. I started deleting people. I just stopped working with a lot of people in general. So with the vision I got to create not just a facility, but a form of lifestyle that would be able to take away the burden of being controlled by the current financial institutions. I can't go no more farther than that about it. But the ability to also educate those around me in fields that they would probably have to go to college to learn. Again, I'm self taught. Everything that you see, I have created from my own imagination. I've created with my own time and my own hands. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the people who have surrounded themselves around me, who have supported me over the years, have pushed this thing, especially my church family. They pushed me in a spectrum to where now the trajectory will outlive me by many years. The trajectory of what is to be accomplished will outlive me for many generations. God told me to create something. And once I actually saw the entirety of the vision, it was a kingdom that was literally a whole nother community outside of what's being taught right now. It's the change of society. That's the vision he gave me. So let's backtrack. We were talking future tense, now we're talking present tense. I originally was looking for a building to get on my own, right? And that's part of the reason why I stopped, because it was too much. I wouldn't be able to afford it. I wouldn't be able to do it at that time. I didn't have enough time to even upkeep a building at that time. And then God said, look around, because again, I've given you everything that you need. And then I started looking around at the people that I had around me. And I realized something. Everybody was looking for what it was I was looking for. And we were all headed in the same direction. So what did I do? Hey, bro, you trying to go in on a building? Yeah, I got to move out. Hey, sis, you trying to go in on a building? Yeah, because I'm going to need something for the wintertime. Hey, sis, hey, sis, hey, bro, y'all trying to go in with me on this building? Yeah, because I got to move out of mine. I already had everything that I needed. I just needed to ask. I just needed to ask. Because the one thing that I've learned that God always shows us is that community is the basis of the kingdom. Kingdom living is the basis of community. Group economics works. There are a lot of people that I grew up in, and again, this goes back into my past life. There were a lot of people that I was around who used to say, I hate being in Richmond. Everybody hates everybody in Richmond. There are nothing but haters in Richmond. Nobody, it just was a cesspool of negativity about their current situations. But I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I've seen a lot of people come. I've seen a lot of people go. I've seen a lot of people be up for 1 minute and they fall. But the people who have stayed consistent, I still have conversations with them till this day. But the thing that I learned was the group works. When the group has the same, has something, or the team has something to actually follow in a structure that's in place, in a very clear vision, things can be moved. And then what happened? Coronavirus. All of this stuff was real clear before coronavirus. It was real clear before coronavirus. Coronavirus hit. Me and my wife, the day that they started talking about coronavirus, I don't know what happened to all of my money, but it went out the window. I had no money. And then, all of a sudden, somebody called me for a flyer. Somebody else called me for a flyer. Somebody else called me for a video. Somebody called me for something else, some pictures. And then I had enough money to put groceries in the house, even though all of the toilet paper was off the shelves. I had enough money. My wife ended up having enough money we ended up getting some money from somewhere, and then I ended up, and this is, I don't get taxes, first and foremost. I don't pay taxes. As well as, I don't pay taxes because I'm a veteran. Get my veteran benefits. And also, I still have my business, and my wife had her business, but my wife's business wasn't running at the time. So when I got in a car accident, I got some insurance money, whatever. So mind you, I didn't have no money at that time. Then that money comes in. I was able to buy a new camera. I was able to pay off some bills, get some of my credit stuff straightened out. And then, money just started coming out of nowhere. And this is before a stimulus check. Again, at that point in time, I didn't even get a stimulus check because I owed back child support. Again, I have a very volatile situation with my daughter's mother. And then I got in a car accident, and then that went away. So I don't owe nothing. They actually been paying me. So again, I got this resolve, and I've been trying to gather my friends to be able to get this building. I'm moving forward now. I got to get this building. So now we're in the last. Now, mind you, this building is supposed to be a production building for everything. We're literally going to be doing movies and film and all of that stuff on the ground floor. That's just the ground floor of the building. Now, with this ability to be able to create this production house, I didn't have no actors. I didn't have nothing. Then one day, my homeboy said, who was an original culture creator, said, reposted a short film, my first short film that I ever created. My first short film. We had actors, we had lighting, we had all of that stuff. I was trash at that point in time. I'm not gonna lie to that. I was super trash. But again, God told me he was going to give me whatever I need. I already had everything that I needed. I just had to ask. So one of the actors who I love to death, Miss Didi. I actually did a film with her before I did that film with her. And then I turned around with Mr. Good Evening when he was doing the Ghetto series. I was helping him with the lighting. I was using Ced's camera to actually help film that because I didn't have my own GH4 at that time. So I was borrowing his until I got mine, and then I got mine. But during that time, Miss Didi was actually in that series. So we were very acquainted with each other as far as working with one another on multiple occasions. So she brings something to the table. She said, hey, I'm an actress, but I'm also in a theater group. God drops everything in on my lap, and I didn't even know I was supposed to have that. Fast forward, we're still looking for this building. Looking. Found this building. Now, this is what God will do. He'll show you something, and then you'll turn around, and you may not be able to attain it at that point in time, but then turn around later on, it'll keep coming up. So I kept looking for a building. I was looking for a building in a certain size. Mind you, most buildings in Richmond are going to cost you about $1,500 for about 500 square feet of space. 800 square feet of space, because it's like $7, $10, $15, $20, $25 per square foot. So we ended up getting this building, right? I ended up finding this building that I had been trying to get in touch with someone before. I talked to somebody who was a real estate guy. He was saying, yeah, I could be an advisor, blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the third. Ooh. Shout out to Andy Walsh. So I find this building, and I was like, man, I'm trying to look at this building for the longest time. Couldn't get in touch with anybody. Finally, I get in touch with somebody, and guess what? They said that the rate for this building is the lowest that there is in the city, which is true. I'm not going to tell y'all how much my building is. Just know that it's getting paid for. But it's literally the lowest amount that anybody in the city is going to pay for. So we talked to the landlords. I talked to the landlords because right now I'm in a position where I'm spearheading this project. Even though I have people who are helping me with the project, I'm spearheading this project. So again, I'm still going through everything that has been going on for the last 10 years. All of the problems, all of the issues, everything. Nothing has changed. The only thing that changed is I have a vision and I have a resolve. Because when I obtain the levels of where I need to go, everything else is going to work itself out. Not saying that money is going to change anything. Not saying What I'm saying is I'll be able to be in a position where I can have these freedoms allotted to me because I know for a fact that money is a tool, one, but also that this world operates off of something that I care nothing about. I just know I need to have it. Whereas a lot of people around me, they have to have money. They have to have this money. They have no other choice but to do their everyday job. I was blessed with the opportunity to not have to do that because I went through what I went through. Is that what happens with everybody? No. Some people get lost in the what happened. Again, God was taking me from the what happened to what is to come. That's what he took me away from. What is to come. Listen again. What is to come? When I was stuck in my depressive states, I just was wallowing in what happened. Not even just what happened to me in the past, maybe a year ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was 7, all of that stuff, a switch turned off and said, I ain't worried about that. That's not, I don't care about that. That don't mean nothing to me. You could come to me today and tomorrow and be like, bro, and some people might call this narcissistic, whatever, but to me, it's not. I can't state nothing. I can't change the past, so I have to change the now. I have to work on me now. I have to work on me in the present. In the present. That's why I have to work on me in the present. So we have this building that I've been looking at multiple times, right? Couldn't get nobody. Now I got somebody. It's the lowest rate anywhere. So I started talking to the real estate guy. Have our first meeting, me and my brother and his sister. My brother and his wife. My partner and his wife. They go with me to go look at the building. And he like, yeah, well, you don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to pay for any utilities other than internet when you come in here, because the landlords are downstairs from you and they own the whole building. Raggy. Not only is this the lowest amount, our facility is bigger than any other facility. It's bigger than the needs that we actually needed. Hear me out. When all of us took the square footage of where we existed right now, in our individual businesses, we only needed 1,200 square feet. It was like 1,280 square feet. That's all we needed. God ended up, after we made it plain, made it simple, like my pastor said, write it down, make it plain, make it simple, so that everybody can look at it. Now our building is going to be 3,000, I think it's like 3,740 something square feet. We only needed 12. Now we have almost 4,000 square feet. Sitting right here. I've been looking at the building the whole time. I didn't believe what the price was. I said, something wrong with this. Something is wrong with this building. Something wrong with it. Something wrong. Something got to be wrong with it. We look at it. Nothing really wrong with it. So a couple of things here and there, they need to be fixed. But nothing tremendous was wrong with it. And I'm like, first of all, God, you know I want to do movies. You just dropped actors in my lap. Like, literally. I just got actors just dropped in my lap. Like, where did that come from? And then you dropped this building in my lap, and it's bigger than anything that I would ever have expected it to be. And this is just our first building. What's really going on here? Even through all of the stress, all of the day-to-day BS that was going on, even though all of that stuff was going on, even through my daily constant battles with my own personal sins that I know I need to walk away from and turn from, even though all of that was going on, God still allowed this to happen when I focused on the vision that he gave me. One of the things that everything that I saw prepared me for, this entire 10 years has prepared me for, is the understanding that life will never cease to allow you to have a moment to think. It will never allow you to have any breathing room. The way that you learn how to breathe is to do that. And the more you breathe, the stronger your lungs will be. And then you'll start building your muscles, and you'll be able to flex in spaces where people feel like you're not able to flex. I've had so many people talk down on me my entire time of being me. Since I was young, I've always had people talking down on me, talking about I can't do something. And my entire life, even still, people doubt me being who I am. I told you, a lot of stuff that I went through throughout my life, a lot of people wouldn't believe it. Just because they see who I am now. Just because they feel like they see who I am. Yeah, there was a point in time where I had some transgressions going on, and I was just wilding. I was wilding out. I was wilding out. I've had a lot of times where I was just wilding out. Especially in my 20s. Especially in my teens. In my 20s. I was wilding out. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. I had a whole little operation when I was in high school. Do this over here. I knew how to do the look over here. I'm doing this over there. I knew how to do that junk easy. Because I wore glasses and I had braces in. You know what I mean? It was easy for me to get away with stuff because I could always say, hey, it's me over here. Look over here. Don't pay attention to this here. Pay attention to this over there. But I stopped doing that. Now I don't care. Again, once I got my vision and I got my purpose and I start moving on it and I got a resolve on it all and I stop thinking about what everybody else thinks and, just people getting upset about things that I do, I can't control what nobody else think. I can only control what I do. And one of the things my pop says, you can't control what you can't control. You can only control what you say and you do. You can't control how people receive it. And through this whole time, I literally could have just quit. I could have just quit a long time ago instead of trying to do this and still have to deal with the stresses of having to operate a business, then trying to move the business forward. I could have quit a long time ago. Shoot, not even a week ago. I was like, man, I just want to, it's hard to get people to do what you need them to do. Even when it's in their best interest, it's hard to get people to do what you need them to do in a timely fashion. It just is. And I was about to say, man, you know what? I don't want to do this. I'll just go keep doing what I was doing before. But then I had to remember, I'm not doing this for me. This isn't about me. If I stop doing what I'm doing now, it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. It's never going to cease. Get me? So moving forward, we're getting this building, right? We had a partner. We had 5 of us, right? It was 5 of us. And one of the partners pulled out literally just last week. Like literally just pulled out last week, right? And I'm not gonna get into their situation because that's none of nobody's business, right? Because I res, I respect other people enough to not, gossip. But they literally just pulled out on us last week. Don't worry about why they pulled out. They just pulled out. We've been talking about this for months. I've been working on this for months. Almost an entire year we've been working on this. We're at the last leg and somebody pulls out. So one thing happened was the blessing of having a home. And this is why I always preach ownership, home ownership over renting. Because you have the ability to have certain funds, especially in the coronavirus. You have the ability to have certain funds allotted to you that renters will never be able to have. And that's so only owners and the understanding of ownership, owning something has to mean something. And the fact that and this is me getting to the political talk. I don't like getting into this, but nonetheless, it's a little life lesson. Had me and my wife stayed in the apartment that we were in, we would have seen so many evictions due to the coronavirus, because the people who ran her rental company, the people who ran that rental company were horrible people. They kick you out disregarding the actual rule of law. And we constantly look back at the fact that we were once renters and now we own a house, and the things that are allotted to us because we own a house now. Because we own a house now. The amount of money that's been allotted to us allows us to be more flexible about our financial situation. So now I can invest in certain things and not really have a real big issue about it because we own a home. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. This is not a brag. I'm trying to tell you, God told me I had everything that I needed. I'm trying to tell you, God told me I had everything that I needed. And he provided. Even when I was asking for it and I thought I didn't have it, I had it right there at my fingertips. I'm trying to tell you, when God gave me my resolve and he gave me my vision, when I got the resolve and I got the vision, that is when he started to move. God literally started to move when I started to move. I have been busy for a very long time. Guess what also happened during the coronavirus in my household? My wife started to get busy during the coronavirus. My wife has been busy during the coronavirus. We have been both operating our businesses during the coronavirus. Now, we are being safe. Nonetheless, we are being safe. But I'm gonna tell you something. I've been moving. And if you don't know, I'm about to tell you. Things started to get hectic again. Started to get a little spicy around here. And something happened. I was at a certain place and I got a coronavirus scare. I thought I had contracted coronavirus. Again, and I'm going to tell you something. During this time that I thought I had coronavirus was the week that we were supposed to actually go and look at our building as a group. Had to cancel it. I literally had to cancel it. I had to cancel that. I was supposed to be working on bolstering the live stream and all of the projects that we had at church. Supposed to be doing that. There were a lot of the projects hindering on this 1 week. I got kicked out because I thought I had the coronavirus. Again, I'm still dealing with everything that's been going on, all of the BM drama, all of this stuff. I've been dealing with all of this stuff, all while trying to push this agenda forward. But I don't talk to nobody about it. I just kind of, everybody see me, they be like, that's just John. But they don't know that I have been internalizing so much for so long. Like, I was literally right in front of their faces, breaking apart, crumbling like a cookie. Literally. But the thing that got me put back together was my faith. Even through my evil, me being apparently evil, like, bruh, a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has happened. Marriage issues, baby mama issues, financial issues, all of this stuff is happening. On top of the coronavirus, on top of, you get what I'm saying? But God kept me moving forward. He said, don't worry about that. So we get this coronavirus scare. And the only thing that I could think about was, man, if I have the coronavirus, I could have given it to so many people I was around in that time. And I would feel so bad, so unworthy, had I have given this to the people I was around. I felt very loathsome about it. Very, very loathsome. And me and my wife, we prayed about it. I didn't want to freak my wife out, but she was out here. She was checking my temperature every 30 minutes, checking her temperature every 30 minutes. First day I found out I was wearing a mask the entire day to try to protect the family just in case. Then I realized I had been around the family for too long for it to even be effective. So we just said, look, we're just going to wait to see what the test results say. So this entire week, that entire week, we were looking for, mind you, I had stuff that I had work jobs that were coming in and people were asking me where they work at and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, dang, bro, I want to tell you, but I don't want this to be an excuse. And it might be a pride thing, but at the same time, like, I'm trying to deal with a lot of stuff right now. And the last thing I'm thinking about is this project of yours. And that's not, it's a lot of things. Like, I have issues with, I have health issues. So if I were to get the coronavirus, bro, that junk probably can take me out of here. And a lot of people don't even know that. That junk probably could take me up out of here. Because I have underlying health issues. But nobody would know that. And to have that scare mentally, at this point, I'm literally at the finish line. I'm at the finish line. I just had a partner. I just lost a partner. Now I'm at the finish line. And now I got the coronavirus, bro. I was like, what is going on? But see, this is the trick of the enemy. Fear. Fear. I thought I had the coronavirus. I was worried about everybody around me. I was worried about myself. I was worried about my kids. I was worried about my wife. I was worried about everything, bro. And I was not focused. I wasn't focused. I was not focused. I wasn't focused on trying to move forward. I got back into another pitfall of thinking about the past and not moving forward. Because if you really think about it, we're not promised tomorrow. So I only have right now. So I should have been thinking about right now and getting things done right now instead of thinking about the past and then internalizing the future. Because I can only think about today. I can only do for today. Today, right now, in this moment. That's the only thing I can think about. That's the only thing I control. And when I really think about Christ and Jesus, and I think about the ruck marches and him carrying, and this is not me comparing myself to Jesus, but him having to carry that cross. And when you're in the military, you have to do the long area. If you've been in the military and you know about them ruck marches and that last ruck march that you got to do when you're in basic training, you know about that ruck march. Yes, you do. Many people have quit on that ruck march. But the entire time I was on that ruck march, the only thing I could sing was hymns. I'm a church boy. I can't help it. The only thing I could sing was hymns. And when I think about it, the only way I could get through it was to stay in the moment and move forward in the moment. And again, like I said, the reason why Christ was so able to to do that was because he was in the moment. And the fact that his measure allowed him to be in the moment at all times. And to move forward in the moment. So now I'm looking at it like, originally, because I told my wife this, and I was like, man, being a husband is like carrying a cross and being whipped every single day. I told her that. I don't know if she received it or how she received it. I know I told her that though. And every time I told her that, I was like, I felt like Jesus Christ being whipped while he was walking with his cross and treading with his cross. Right? That's how I felt. And now that I have this resolve, I understand that without God, that forward motion through struggle can never truly be done unless you have God inside of you and in your ear. And I need to do better at my Bible study, but again, God dropped so many jewels in my lap, right? And it was beautiful. Like, it was real beautiful. And I'm going to finish this story. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to finish this story. I'll be right back.
What up, little bro?
What up, man? Don't be coming over here with all that
Ain't nobody
preaching.
trying to preach you, bro. I just want
I'm
to talk
not
to
trying
you.
to hear that, bro. I'm not
I feel
trying to hear
you. I feel
I'm
you.
not. Because every time you come over here, you over here with that God stuff, and I ain't trying to hear
I
that.
understand it. I just want to say I love you, bro.
I mean, I love you too, bro, but still, bro.
I just don't want to go to no more funerals and shit, bro. I swear, bro.
That's them, that's not me, bro. I promise you I'm good out here, I'm straight, bro.
You the young and restless spirit moving to the records. No commercial break till them faces build your castles. Reach the architect, think it's babbling his message. Yeah, you tired of preaching, leave it to your own discretion. Cause you still God's, but don't.
What up, little bro?
What up, man? Don't be coming over here with all that
Ain't nobody
preaching.
trying to preach you, bro. I just want
I'm
to
not
talk to
trying
you.
to hear that, bro. I'm not
I
trying
feel
to hear
you. I feel
I'm
you.
not. Because every time you come over here, you over here with that God stuff, and I ain't trying to hear
I
that.
understand it. I just want to say I love you, bro.
I mean, I love you too, bro, but still, bro.
I just don't want to go to no more funerals and shit, bro. I swear, bro.
That's them, that's not me, bro. I promise you I'm good out here, I'm straight, bro.
You the young and restless spirit moving to the records. No commercial break till them faces build your castles. Reach the architect, think it's babbling his message. Yeah, you tired of preaching, leave it to your own discretion. Cause you still God's, but don't.
What up, little bro?
What up, man? Don't be coming over here with all that
Ain't nobody
preaching.
trying to preach you, bro. I just want
I'm
to
not
talk to
trying
you.
to hear that, bro. I'm
I
not
feel
trying to hear
you. I feel
I'm
you.
not. Cause every time you come over here, you over here with that God stuff, and I ain't trying to hear
I
that, bro.
understand it. I just want to say I love you, bro.
I mean, I love you too, bro, but still, bro.
I just don't want to go to no more funerals and shit, bro. I swear, bro.
That's them, that's not me, bro. I promise you, I'm good out here, I'm straight, bro.
You the young and restless spirit.
Peace. My bad. So I had to step out for a second. So I'm back. So back to what I was talking about. So I had been feeling like I was carrying this burden, this cross for a very, very long time. And when during this time where I was carrying these burdens, I had to remember that my feet were not moving alone. And that I had a lot of people who were actually banking on the success of what it is that we were doing. And the only way that I could actually give them their success is if I stayed on top of myself to be able to do what it is that I promised and working on my integrity. Being integral in this process has been the cornerstone of how it is that I've been able to operate for the last 10 years. Now, am I the best when it comes to integrity? No. There's been a lot of times where my integrity has wavered. When I've been trying to take on too many projects and I tell people yes when I really should be telling them not right now or no. But I love to help people. I love to serve. I just do. That I have a servant's heart. So again, like during this process, all of this stuff has been happening, including this coronavirus scares, all of the baby mama drama, all of the relationship issues, the household issues, during the summertime our air conditioner blew out. We literally had to put in window units until we could get somebody in here, and that took about 2-3 days. And my wife was still running her business, so her clients couldn't be in the hot air. And God showed me that even in the coronavirus, that He can make a way for you. Because I know if He can make a way for me through all of the stuff that I've been through, including my disobedient self. And when I mean disobedient, I have been really disobedient in many ways. Many ways. Lusting after more than just yeah. I've been disobedient in many, many ways. I don't even feel righteous enough to wear what I'm wearing right now. Having scripture across my chest, I don't even feel righteous enough to be able to do that. And being as lowly as I am, I've been trying to work on being more humble. Sounds good, but that's just what it is. Literally, at the beginning, like I said, before the coronavirus, I was ready to quit. We had money woes. Because I had a business. A lot of my extra income was from my business. Me trying to keep the business running. So I know that had I not been going down the path, and I know a lot of people are hurting, and that's why I started this off right now, how I did. Because, again, I know there are a lot of people hurting. I know it. I know there are a lot of people hurting during the coronavirus. And this year was not who it was not the best year at all on so many levels. But I'm here to tell you that if you trust God and you have a resolve in what He is asking you to do, and you look around and actually be thankful for what you have right now and utilize what you have right now, He will make a way for you. He's already done it. It's not a magician's trick. It's not pray and it'll just happen. You're going to have to work. Oh, trust me, you're going to have to work. God is not a genie in a bottle where you just going to get it just cuz you asked for it. He'll help you along the way, but you ain't going to get it just cuz you asked for it. You got to work. You're going to have to put in them hours. You're going to have to make sacrifices. But again, when you start looking at the fact that you have everything you need right now, and you start utilizing the things that you need, He will make a way for you. Do not think that you're alone in this world, because you're not. Though our situations may be different, many times they're the same when dealing with the emotion of the incidences. PTSD for a rape victim can also be the same type of emotional baggage as PTSD for a veteran of war. Though I may not have been in a position where I was sleeping in my car during the coronavirus, I can identify with the fear of not knowing what's going to happen next. I can identify that. I have empathy for that. I can sympathize with those situations. Oh, in my time, I have. It's one point in time where I'm not going to get into reasons why, but me and Josiah was in that red Cadillac sleeping in the front. There was a time. Oh, there was a time. During the winter time. That's not a lie. Sleeping on friends' floors. All of that. It's a very rough time. So I can sympathize with a lot of people and what they're going through right now. But again, I implore you to know that if you utilize what you have, God can make a way for you. You just got to be willing to listen and move forward. Forget about what happened over there. Yesterday is gone. You can't do nothing about yesterday. But you can do something about the right now. You can do something about the right now. So you know what's happening right now? Through all of this stuff, not having the money to be able to do anything I want to do, the partner falling out, the iffy financial situation, all of that stuff. Through all of that stuff, guess what? We're in the last phases of getting our building. Talk to the landlords. My advisor, my realty advisor, has gotten us some good stipulations on the building. We're going to have our first building as a company very, very soon. the landlords want us in this building. And remember, I told you, God will say, I have given you everything you need. God will make provision where you feel there is none. God will give provision where you feel there is none. Even in the midst of the coronavirus, even in the midst of your troubles, your woes, cast your burdens upon God. But in order to cast them, you got to let go. I went from in the 10-figure, the five-figure mark. Our household was a 5-figure household. We're a 6-figure household now. We're a 6-figure household now. When did this happen? During the coronavirus. Listen to me. If the man in the household follows God, if the head of the household follows God, he will provide provision where you feel there may not be any provision. Man, my wife made a lot of money during the coronavirus. A lot. So, I guess I'm getting to the end of the because this thing's lagging right now. But I just want to tell you guys, I love you. And don't be fearful of what you think may be coming. Get rid of your fear. Trust God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself, as your brother, as your sister, as your mother. Love your neighbor as yourself. And remember that God will make provision. He will make provision where you think there is no provision. So the next time you see me in the new year, the next time you see me on this Facebook Live, it's probably going to be signing a lease for a new building. And guess what? That's just the beginning. Because God gave me the vision and God gave me the resolve. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Peace.